Down, everybody, it's your boy that guy mile high, tuning back in for another reaction, and this time we got the top 10 unholy things that European kings did to their wives. What kind of nasty effery did they do? Let's find out, because I have no idea. And you already know history, there was some weird people and some weird things that were done in history that would not be condoned today. You dig? Even though there's some weird individuals that do some weird things and do some very heinous things today, it was, I feel like, even worse back in the day when there was nobody to govern these people. And then when it was the kings doing it, like, well, who was going to govern them? Anyways, let's go. Record the screen. Hit the full screen. And let's do this, man. Let go.
Welcome back to...
Oh, this is part two, too. So if y'all want us to go back and do part one, let me know down in the comments below. And I'll go find part one and we'll do the part one. But, you know, as of right now, we're going to do this one because this is the one that I've seen. And, yeah, so here we are. Go.
Unholy things that some unholy people did in some unholy times. Let's do it.
Right.
Here are the top 10 unholy things European kings did to their wives, part 2. Kicking off the list at number 10, a goodnight kiss. We'll start off funny, okay? History can be funny sometimes, even when it's not meant to be, and it's meant to be completely serious. I can't help but read this information and laugh. Royals were sweating constantly about people trying to take them out, of course. I mentioned Boy Jones on here a few times. That guy stalked the Queen over and over for years. Historically, these royals have been on the lookout for enemies, and the way that they prevent these attacks, yeah, sometimes it can be a little funny. Like the kissing sheets, for example. Have you heard about this weird position in the castle? What an odd job this is. A great deal of monarchs hired taste testers to make sure nobody poisoned
Right,
their
I was gonna
ale.
say, I've heard about the taste testing stuff,
there.
right?
Either having a good day or a bad day, no in between. But they also had a guy kiss the king's sheets every day, just kiss the entire bed. The king size, may I remind you, massive bed. King Henry VIII, this guy hired somebody to literally just go in, get snuggled up, and just make sure the king's bed wasn't poisoned. There's nothing on it that's gonna make the...
That's what you call paranoia right there. Like, God, like, I don't think we've ever even seen that in a movie where somebody, like, poisoned the sheets. Like, come on, man.
Skin go all ouchy. He would just get in his bed and just go to sleep for a bit. You are required to make the king's bed every morning, of course, and before he gets back in, you gotta get in and kiss that bed, man. You gotta kiss that bed real good. Mwah, mwah. Let's go. Mwah.
That's
all right,
stupid.
The day. Mwah. One more
That is so dumb.
I was touched, maybe not kissed.
Oh man, that is dumb.
Worn and touched with, it's so weird. Guys wearing my clothes in my bed. No way, I'd rather get poisoned.
Right.
Like, yo, take my jeans off. Who is that guy? Get back here. Like, imagine marrying that king, and it's like, oh, hang on, before we get snugged in, this guy has to go and kiss your sheets. She's like, ew, what?
Put my drawers on first. Like, could you imagine that? Because he said, you got to put my clothes on too. Hey, man, I need you to put them drawers on over there and warm them up. You know what I'm saying? I don't like no cold drawers on my nuts. You know what I'm saying? So use your nuts to warm them, that little nut patch up, right? Like, what kind of weird, like, come on, bro. That is so weird. What are you talking about, son?
Number 9, enemas. We gotta talk about perhaps one of the worst sights to see in the household. Back in the olden days, enemas were the talk of the town. Well, rather, the palace. Like most things in the 1400s, only the rich could afford the enema supplies. Specifically, King Louis XIV. Guy loved enemas. Just big old fan of enemas. It's believed that over the course of his life, Louis XIV received thousands of enemas.
Isn't that where they like put something up your butt?
Decimals for enemas. In just 1 year, Louis received...
What? Please, somebody down below put a comment, because I don't even, like, I know it's something weird, right? But like, it's like, those look like weird apparatuses that you would put in a place that's not your mouth or anywhere else other than a hole in the back. And that dude, he was sitting there lifting up his little skirt dress thing like, you know, he was ready. So is it something to do with your butt? Please comment down below, because I'm not 100% sure and I don't want to sound ignorant, but I'm just going to ask the question because I don't want to go Google it. But, you know, one of y'all knows. I know one of y'all knows.
112
Some of y'all got some weird facts on your brains, bro.
That's like 112 too much, I'd say. I don't know. He would always take it a step further, and dare I say, a step fancier, by using almond milk for the enemas. Imagine being married
so he's
to
like
a guy
squishing
almond milk, and you're like, oh no, no.
He's putting almond milk up his butthole. What kind of weird nonsense this is, bro?
Louis, please, I just ate. Number 8, no bathing in this house. Bathing in the olden days wasn't fully understood, if that makes any sense. Like in a medical book, in an official 16th century medical book, the medical...
I just can't get over that last one, bro. Could you imagine being his wife and having to like you gotta help the king squirt shit up his ass. And then take this motherfucker serious when he goes in and dresses the kingdom. Like, what? You gotta take him serious when he's sitting there trying to discipline and yelling at motherfuckers, and you know, after he's done, he's about to ask you to stick something up his butt and squirt almond milk in there. Like, what?
Was not baths or stews, nor sweat too much. For all openeth the pores of a man's body, and maketh the venomous air to enter, and for to infect the blood. First of all, huh? What?
None of that shit made sense.
Why is every shred of medical knowledge always written in riddles? God forbid you have bronchitis in the 16th century. A doctor would just be like, ah, yes, just a drop of ale and a witch's flick, and you'll be on your way. Like, what? Do you have any halls? Help me. Help me, dude. And I'm just mad. I just, like, bro.
Yeah, none of that shit made any sense, bro.
So, of course, they thought that taking a bath...
Everybody thought they was goddamn poets back in the day and shit.
Apparently, this guy never took a bath in his life. And his hygiene was so bad that he would sometimes pass lice to others just by being in the same room that he was earlier. So not at the same time, he would come in, do his king stuff, leave, and the lice would be like, pew, and they would just wait in that room and get on someone else. That's so gross. That's horrible. Lice would emit off this man. He's like the stinky kid from Charlie Brown. That's
disgusting.
With the cloud. That's just like lice around
commercial.
this guy.
All right, we here.
Margaret Tudor was married to King James. Yeah, must have loved the no bathing thing, eh?
That's terrible. That's just nasty. Bad hygiene is just terrible for everybody.
Caroline. Ba, ba, ba. She went out in a horrible way. We can't sing about her. History remembers Queen Caroline for the way that she went out. It was bad. It was actually written down in an epigram attributed to the 18th century poet Alexander Pope. Here lies wrapped up in 40,000 towels, the only proof that Caroline had bowels. Again, it rhymes. Why is everything rhyming? This is so
because everybody thought they was poets back in the day.
That's good. Wait. It does rhyme. That's good. Yeah, check it out. Rest in peace. Oh my gosh. Her husband, he was certainly no help at all. Caroline was previously married to George IV, and this guy locked her out of Westminster on Coronation Day. So yeah, she went out in a horrible way, but let's not forget the marriage that came beforehand. That wasn't pleasant either. Nothing in this guy or this marriage was pleasant. Number 6, Henry VIII.
Sounds terrible.
Of course he's back. He had 6 wives, and it was pretty much entirely bad for all of them, yeah.
Damn.
It was the late 1400s. Henry took the throne in 1509. This guy was only 17 years old when all of this madness began to unfold. Only days after the execution of Anne, who I mentioned on part 1 of this list, so days after he married his 3rd wife, Jane Seymour. Anne Boleyn and Jane Seymour's mothers were first cousins, so they were close, and during all of this, they, of course, went head-to-head more than once. Jane died shortly after giving birth to Edward VI on October 12, 1537. I can't mention King Henry's wives and leave a couple out. This is just a history channel. We have to mention all of them, okay? Number 5, George V. Turned out this guy loved stamps. Maybe a bit too much, though, I'd say. It was almost distracting. It was
they need to just be more creative with some of their names, man. George V, Henry IX.
Say maybe, I don't know,
Franklin. Well, whatever I was about to say is Frankinson, but we ain't heard of Frankinson or Frank.
Everyone's trying to stay alive. George is just in the background like... Like all collections, they started at an early age. It's now at a point where it's just, past impressive and borderline strange. Especially if you're a royal, like you're really going hard with this. This guy had albums on albums of stamps. He had around 330 albums, each was 60 pages, full of stamps. That's 20,000 pages.
Why?
That's a lot, way too many stamps. So naturally, he was nicknamed the King of Stamps, or rather the King of Philately. That's the official term for collecting stamps. We're historians here, we have to make it official. Back in 1905, he said...
That is such a weird hobby. I mean, I know there's a lot of money in stamps, but it's just such a weird hobby to get into, I feel like.
220,000 on one single stamp. Somebody even asked the prince down the road if he had heard about the fool who had spent 1,400 pounds on a stamp. And he was proud. He was like, oh, that fool? It was I. Number 4, Rudolph II. The Holy Roman Emperor from 1552.
Rudolph
he was known as a collector. Yeah, some princes collected stamps, others collect zoo animals. We're all different.
Fair enough.
His castle was home to lions, tigers, and not bears, but orangutans. So good luck getting your 8 hours. He also collected human artifacts, like body parts after they've been You know, so that's...
Bro, such
watch
a
your step,
weird,
I guess.
like,
Welcome to MTV
why?
Cribs. Don't mind the jar of eyes. Watch out for the lion's tail. Careful. What a mess. He's quite important in history.
It's like so, like, how you go from like being like, I want all these exotic animals to fucking human parts, bro? Like, what? So crazy.
Born to the scientific revolution, and he also poured tons of money into astrology. So next time you read your horoscope, remember it's Bones in the Jar Benny that's responsible for that one. And also, in case you're wondering, yeah, he didn't pay attention to any of his wives or anything like that. He was just, nope, jars for me, jars animals, I'm all set. Number 3,
Yeah, he's
Don
a weird
Carlos.
dude, bro.
Spanish crown prince, the guy who just enjoyed being the worst human alive. Let's talk about him. Back in the mid-1500s, the eldest son to King Philip II of Spain was, yeah, I want to say worse things, but he was just a really bad person. YouTube, he was just a bad guy. Now,
I feel that, sir. I feel that, sir.
Historians like to bring that up first, and how maybe he had the odds against him with these disabilities growing up, and people often feel bad for him a little. To that I say, don't. No, don't do it.
Don't, because he was a bad person.
By his dad. Dude was fine. Philip II of Spain, yeah, he would hurt a lot of people. He would hurt animals and people just for fun. According to historians, Don Carlos once made a cobbler
back in the day Renaissance serial killer, apparently, huh?
He made somebody eat boots. We're not going to feel bad for Bumblebee today. That's not what we're going to do.
Yeah, man, eat this boot. Could you imagine chewing on a boot? Come on, bro. You got people eating boots? That's an impressive feat if old boy really ate the boot.
But after a few hours,
I mean, it's one thing to just say it, but did he really do it?
That's not
like, goddamn.
So she married his father instead. That's what happens. That's what happens when you're... In 1564, a few brides were lined up for Don Carlos. Mary, Queen of Scots, was one of them. Margaret of Valois, we know what happened with her, and Anna of Austria. But his mental conditions grew worse, and it went south. Shocker. Number 2, Heart of Glass. King Charles VI, once nicknamed the Beloved and then quickly nicknamed the Mad. What happened? After he became King of France in 1380, he would have these episodes, let's call them. He would believe he was made of glass, and he didn't want anybody to touch him. He had this glass illusion, which was surprisingly not uncommon, believe it or not, for this time period. Believing you were made out of glass in some way, shape, or form, be it in your head,
that's such a weird thing
really
to think.
Around the mid-1400s, and Charles VI, aka Charles the Mad, he wouldn't let anybody, not even his wife, near him at all. I'm not making fun of somebody for having a fear like that. I mean, most likely historians believe...
Man, I am. What kind of weird ass shit is that? I'm made of glass. Don't touch me. Like, I know there are medical conditions where, like, people are susceptible to getting hurt easier when you have, like, bone problems. And, you know what I'm saying? There's even, like, that one where it's, like, you can bruise super easily or you can have internal bleedings really, like, easily and stuff. And that shit's not funny. But, like, for you to have nothing wrong with you and you just to be sitting there thinking, like, I'm made of glass. Like, come on, bro. They're like... Put him in a straitjacket and send him on his way. Oh, man. He's not fit to run the kingdom. I'm sorry.
She, too, believed she had swallowed a grand piano made of glass, so she had to enter rooms sideways to avoid it shattering.
What?
Glass illusion, but...
Oh, bro.
It went away? I don't know. And finally, number 1. King George IV. Voted as England's worst king by historians. That should already tell you a good amount of this guy.
Right.
Was another one of those
yeah, he's the worst king by historian. God damn. It's a title to have.
Side quests, if you know what I'm saying here. Like all these other kings we've talked about. He was a bit busy, being a stupid fool. This man was trying literally everything to get a woman to sleep with him. Although he was the king and he was already set up. He was like, nope, I'm going to go and keep trying with strangers and random. And he would throw a tantrum.
He just like, he liked that puss. You know what I'm saying? He likes some strange for a little bit of change. You dig what I'm saying?
He would also keep trophies, lack of a better term, of all these conquests afterwards. He would ask each people that he slept with for a little piece of hair, and then he would keep them. He would, like, store them.
Ew.
Back then it was kind of common.
That's creepy.
To keep locks of each other's hair. Weirdly enough,
that's creepy, bro.
Or, like, any sort of way to remember someone.
I think that's super creepy.
So you kept their hair. But after the king died, his brother found 7,000 envelopes, each with a lock of hair.
Damn.
Stuff a sofa. End quote. So yeah, I'll leave you on that note.
He was out there getting it. He just wanted a little bit of strange for a little bit of change. Hey, give me a little bit of your hair and I'll go ahead about my way. Like, what kind of... Ooh, some of these kings, bro.
These are the top 10 unholy
Questionable.
things European kings did to their wives, part 2.
Oh man, all right, yeah. Which one was oh, that last one, bro? I think that was that deserved number one. Like for real, that took the cake. That was pretty good right there. Oh boy was like, yeah, I know I got my at-home, stay-at-home puss, but that ain't the puss that I want. I mean, I want it, but I want the strange for a little bit of change. Come on, man. 7,000? That's a body count for real, god damn. I don't know, oh, god damn, them porn star numbers and shit. These motherfuckers, that was Renaissance porn star status. God damn. Woo. All right, anyways. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that. I'm so loud, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.